Hello YouTube, my name is Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales, and welcome to episode 2 of Dragon's Pipebomb. We are here with another video, and first of all, big apologies to all of you. Basically, I planned to do this last week, and things got on the way. I just did not have the time to do it, unfortunately. A lot of stuff come up, but you get this week instead, guys, so we are making the video. As always, this goes up on Patreon a few days beforehand, and then it goes out on the main channel a few days later. Big thank you to all my patrons, obviously, for supporting the channel. Links to all of them are in the description below. Thank you so much, guys. As always, this is the unedited, everything's uncut, basically, so you get from record to finish at the end, basically. Any cock-ups or mistakes, you just live with it, basically. I said basically a lot then, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's just terrible. Terrible English on my part, unfortunately. We do actually have a few topics that we're going to go with as well. A lot of them have been suggested by you guys. One or two of them have changed slightly, and I've also had a few things as well. So we've got a few things to actually discuss in this video as well. If you want me to discuss anything in these pipe bombs, then let me know in the comment section below. I'll write it down, save it in a Word document, and then it'll go into a future episode. So I'll try and answer pretty much everything that you guys want to ask me. Think of it like a podcast / Q&A kind of scenario. That's what the sort of pipe bomb is, basically. It's me talking and rambling for a bunch of time, and it's not sort of thing that you may, you're not going to be watching this intently and watching my every move in this video. You may have her on in the background listening to me and the stuff I'm talking about, basically. I said basically again, for fuck's sake. That's gonna be the theme. Let's just call this the Basically podcast or something. But for those who are new, welcome to the channel. Hope things are well with you guys as well. Everything you need is in the description below, guys. We've got links for Instagram, we've got links for Twitter, Facebook. We've got my shitty merchandise that we have in there as well. We have, pretty much everything. Referral links for games, cheap PC games, if you want to check out those links as well. Green Man Gaming and Kinguin. If you want to drop me an email, my email's in the description below. And if you want to check out my streams and stuff, all my stream information's at the bottom of the description as well. So everything is there, guys, for all of you. Anyway, enough pandering. Let's get to the actual meat of the video. So the topics we're going to go through today. The first one is one which I've sort of branched out from a HouseOfTheJuilii question. So his original question was YouTubers who have great communities but ignore comments. And I'm going to answer that, but I'm also going to change to like a subcategory of Total War YouTube, Total War as a YouTube genre. So it's going to be that sort of thing, because obviously I got a lot of Total War stuff I can talk about. We've got one from TJ Dwarf, which is Trump as president, shit hit the fan scenario. So that's going to be our other topic. And then we've got a topic by Jackasaurus, which is simply Jurgen Klopp. He actually put it Jurgen Klopp as Arsenal manager because he's an Arsenal fan. But me, being a Liverpool fan, I'm going to be talking about Jurgen Klopp in quite a bit of detail as well towards the end of the podcast. We've got some various categories here. We'll start off obviously with the YouTube one. We'll go in order probably in this video as well, and if I think of anything else I'll throw it in as well. So Total War YouTube, Total War as a YouTube genre. Interesting topic to start off with. I'll start off with my channel. I've been doing YouTube since 2013. I started my channel in the March 20th, 2013 I think it was. I'll have to check that now afterwards. I'll be really annoyed if I'm out by a day or two. And I was still in university at the time. I was still studying. I was in my final year. Me and my friend Tom originally thought about doing YouTube, and he didn't. I did, and I couldn't think of a cool channel name to begin with. I was watching quite a lot of Clone Wars stuff at the time, and I think I was going to go with Cad Bane's Blaster or something related with Cad Bane, because he was my favourite character at the time. Big ass, cool bounty hunter with the whole hat and the guns and everything. Really, really enjoyed Clone Wars around about that time. In the end, I went with Dragonheart 1791, 17 being my favourite number, my lucky number, 91 being the year I was born. Because back then on YouTube, it was a situation where you couldn't just pick any name like you can now. There was no Google Plus integration. So if Dragonheart was taken, you'd go with the next thing. If Dragonheart 17 was taken, which in my case it was, you'd go with the next thing. So that's how it became Dragonheart 1791. And, it's interesting. my inspiration behind my channel name for a start was I wanted something that was Total War-esque, but could also be my own. Lionheart is a Total War YouTuber. Many of you watching will know who he is. He's one of the biggest Total War YouTubers. I don't think he is anymore. I think quite a few people have overtaken him. But he's somebody I sort of grew up watching on YouTube back when I was in university, in those early years of uni, sort of 2010, 2011, 2012. I didn't have a gaming PC. I had a very crap Acer Aspire laptop. So I couldn't play Empire Total War. I couldn't play Napoleon. I couldn't play Shogun 2. I could play Rome Total War, the original Rome Total War game, and I could play Medieval 2, but it would sometimes lag on those. It wasn't perfect, so my laptop was crap. It was there just for me to do my university work effectively and watch videos. That's what I did on it, and I watched a lot of Lionheart videos. I was always a fan of Total War. Total War was something that I grew up on. It was something that I first discovered, must be over a decade ago now, when Time Commanders was a TV series on the BBC, on BBC Two. I had my own regime, I guess, where I'd come home from school, I'd watch some cartoons, and then sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, every sort of half hour or so, they were like time slots, or every hour. I'd watch I'd watch Malcolm in the Middle, I'd watch The Simpsons, I'd watch Futurama, because that was on sometimes. So they were like the three sort of things earlier in the evening that I'd watch, and then Robot Wars used to be on, and Time Commanders. And Time Commanders is a show which, if you type in onto YouTube, Time Commanders Total War or Time Commanders BBC, it'll come up. There are multiple videos uploaded on YouTube which you can check out, and it is a show where you'd have a bunch of guests on the show. You'd have like 2 lieutenants, you'd have like a commander, you'd have like, a general, that sort of thing. You'd all have a role. You'd plan out the battle on like a board at the start, so they'd have like little figurines. They'd have like the historians that were there. They would have the sticks. They'd push the sort of units around. They'd plan it out on the battle map beforehand, and then using the original Rome Total War engine, a modified version of the Rome Total War engine, they'd actually fight the battle, and they'd delegate, right, I want my units up there. I want you to plan out this by here, and they'd actually fight it like a proper historical battle, and it was amazing. It was one of the best shows I've ever watched. For people who are interested in that sort of thing, have not seen this show before, check out Time Commanders, guys. You are missing out. So that got me into Total War. I was like, what is this game? What is this game? And then eventually one day, after I was watching this show, I saw Rome Total War in a shop. This is back in the day when PC games were discs and not on Steam or Origin or whatever. So I picked up the disc version. I think it was like £5. It was quite cheap. It was in a sale. I can't remember where did I buy it from. I can't remember where I bought it from, but it was in a sale. I think it was like £5, which is cheap. It's not expensive at all. And I loved it. I played the shit out of it when it came out. I mean, on Steam will say that I've played like 20 hours or something, or 30 hours, whatever it is. But I've played a hell of a lot more on Rome Total War and Medieval 2 as well, to be fair. They were fantastic games. I had such a love of historical stuff, because I'm a big fan of history. My favorite time period is the ancient period of sort of Rome and Carthage and the Punic Wars. Hence why I'm doing a Carthage campaign on my channel, I guess, because I love that sort of era. And I'm also a big lover of sort of the Greeks and the Spartans and Athens and Macedon, or Macedon, depending on how you want to pronounce it, because both ways I think are acceptable. And like the Roman invasions of Britain. I've gone to places in Britain where there's been like Roman forts and stuff. There's actually one not too far away from where I live in Caerleon, which I've been to before. So this show combined so much of it, and that sort of introduced me to Total War. And I obviously bought the Rome Total War game, played that, enjoyed that. It was fucking amazing. I bought Barbarian Invasion, that came out a year later. You had the Rome Alexander, which I didn't enjoy that much, but I still bought it and played it. It was still Total War. And then a couple of years later, Medieval 2 comes out. By this point, Time Commanders wasn't existing anymore. They only did 2 seasons, unfortunately. But former Top Gear presenter Richard Hammond was actually one of the presenters for one of the seasons, which is pretty cool. But also, by the way, guys, for those of you that are interested in Time Commanders, they've announced that they are actually bringing it back as a series. They got the same historian person as last time, although they've had a sex change, so they're now female, not male. But it's on BBC 4. It'll be starting in December. I think it's December the 3rd or 4th, I think it starts. But if you type in Time Commanders BBC, it'll come up, guys. So just type it in and you'll see. I think I'm only going to do 3 episodes to begin with, though. But it's going to be interesting because in the trailer, there's actually a trailer for it on YouTube. They showed some, I think it was Empire and Napoleon footage. So they're going to obviously be doing newer Total War games, I would have thought. Maybe Shogun 2, I hope Shogun 2, because that would be lovely to see that in action. But wait and see, guys. That's the only thing I can say. Check it out. But so that got me into Total War, and obviously, being in university, not having access to a great computer and being able to do all that sort of stuff myself, like I'm doing now. I watched Lionheart, and I literally, if I had a few days off from uni and I didn't have any work to do, I'd finished it and handed it in, I would literally plug my laptop. My room's a lot different to what it used to be, but I'd have my laptop on a little desk I used to have by here before I had this desk, and I'd have a HDMI cable plugged into the back of it, and it would go right into the TV. I've actually still got the same TV. I've had this TV a few years now, but you'd go into the back of the TV. It's a 40-inch, by the way, guys. Not too bad, 40-inch. Although I would like a bigger TV. That's me being selfish, though. But I had a 40-inch TV. This actually used to be high up on the wall. I'd be plugged in via HDMI into the laptop. I'd go on to Lionheart's Dane's campaign and his Portugal campaign series that he did on Empire, Total War, and Portugal. He did a Portugal series as well back then. That's right. He did I forgot now. He did a Danes campaign. He did a Portugal campaign. He did, Denmark, Portugal, and Greece. That's right. Greece was like the one I think which I first watched and got me into it. That's right. The Greece campaign was his first one I watched, and then I watched the other two, which were his older ones. And I literally, no word of a lie, I sat down, I plugged it all in, HDMI, everything. So it's on big screen, not on YouTube, but on my laptop, small screen on my laptop, but it's on my big screen by here. I literally lay in bed. I had it on playlist mode, so I clicked on playlist, so it automatically played to the next video. Bear in mind, this is back before adverts were prominent and advertisements were prominent on YouTube, so you didn't have the whole kind of, you have to automatically wait 5 seconds before you can clip skip, or you've got like a 30-second unskippable ad. It was literally straight out of one episode into the other, straight out of one episode into the other, and it was great. And I literally sat and watched all 3 of those series. I watched his Empire stuff, his Napoleon stuff, because I was deprived of that. I wasn't able to play it. I actually owned Empire Total War at the time, and I had like Steam game in-game time 40 minutes. That's like 40 minutes to be frantically trying to get it to work on my laptop. So this was me like getting that out of it, and then I started watching some of Shogun 2 stuff as well. Didn't actually watch that much of his Shogun 2 stuff, if I'm being honest. I was more interested in the Empire and Napoleon stuff because I don't know, just that interested me more at the time, and it was why I couldn't play myself, and they were, games I was sort of deprived of. So that got me into it, and when I started my own channel, fast forward a few years to 2013, my friend didn't decide to do YouTube in the end, so I just created my own channel. I went with Dragonheart, like I said, 1791 being the number that I love and the year I was born. And then Dragonheart, I thought to myself, well, Lionheart is one of my favourite Total War YouTubers. He's kind of got me into the YouTube scene. I only watched him at the time. I didn't really watch Heir of Carthage. I never really watched Heir of Carthage, to be totally honest with you. I can't tell you who else was around at the time. Heph, I was aware of Heph quite early on, but I didn't really watch him until about a year or so later. I'd say 2014, I'd say, is when I started watching Heph. But he's become one of my favourite YouTubers outright, but I'll go into a lot of that in this video, obviously. But I'm just trying to think the order of this now. The name. So Lionheart is like my inspiration. And obviously it's associated with an English king. Braveheart is associated with the Scottish film about William Wallace and Scottish independence and the wars against the English and everything. And Bannockburn and all that jazz, and the Battle of Stirling, and so I thought, well, you've got English, you've got Scottish, we're British. Let's bring it full circle. Go with something Welsh sounding, and Dragonheart. It kind of goes in the same theme. Dragon is very much, it's the symbol of Wales. It's one of my favorite mythical kind of creatures, a dragon. I've actually watched the film Dragonheart and actually enjoyed it as well. Although I didn't think much of the second one, but the first one's really good. Yeah, fucking good stuff. And I've surrounded myself with dragons now. I've got like dragon candle holders, and I've got fucking dragon call cards from Zazzle, and I've got my own Dragonheart t-shirts and shit, and I've got a dragon statue right behind me, but there if the camera stays focused, which I bought with Panda in Tembi this year. So it's kind of consumed me a little bit, I guess, but I love dragons, and that's kind of how I came up with the name Dragonheart. So obviously that's a little intro to the story. We'll go into a bit further now. So I started doing YouTube 2013, as we've established. I was crap, to be honest with you. I was fucking crap. My earliest, like my 2 or 3 of my earliest videos had the whole black bars thing, and I think that's like an amateur thing now. If you're uploading videos and you've got black bars on the side, so you haven't got the right aspect ratio in your editing software, and you're complaining that you're not getting views, then I think you need to take a good hard look at yourself while you're doing YouTube. At the time, I was new. I literally started using Fraps because Lionheart was using it and mentioned it on multiple occasions in his videos I watched. I was like, right, I'm going to use Fraps. So I bought Fraps, like it's like £24 or something. So I literally bought Fraps with what was left of my student loan. Very little of it left. I probably should say about my PC as well, because that comes into this story and I've jumped ahead of that. But obviously I started doing YouTube 2013 as I was finishing uni. That last year of uni, 2012 to 13, I actually had my PC. The DVD drive in the PC right now is the last thing remaining from the original build. The original build was a Radeon 6670. It was an i3 processor. I can't remember the exact build of it. I didn't have a water pump like I've got now. I just had a standard fan. I think it was a Coolmaster fan. I think it was like 500 watt power supply, and I can't remember the case exactly, but I remember it was blue and had like a shiny light on it. And I had a 1 terabyte hard drive, and like my specs, guys. You've got my about page, all my specs are there now. You can see how much it's evolved since then. But I could obviously start doing YouTube once I had the PC. So just want to put that in there and make note of it for you guys. But we started. We did the videos. I was crap at the beginning. I started off doing Worms Revolution because I was playing it at the time. It was one of the few PC games I owned. I didn't have many PC games starting off either. It was mainly Total War and Worms. That's what I did. And Worms was cool. I created a series called Worms Revolution Battles. It's my very first series on YouTube. I sound really weird in the videos because I was using a cheap microphone I had from Asda's. So I paid like £6 for it, and I was like, welcome to YouTube, where everything was muffled like that. I went from like a £6 microphone to a microphone right now, which I paid £150 for, but it was reduced to it's like a £200 microphone basically, right, that I'm using right now, an SL600, which is it's like the same sort of level as a Blue Yeti. But the evolution's been quite gobsmacking, to be honest with you. But the channel, I felt like early on it was a learning process. I had to learn, and obviously that Total War influence was there. I did a couple of things with a few small YouTubers at the time. The first thing I did was with somebody else. A collaboration was with somebody called Elite Wolf 98, who was a nice young chap from Yorkshire. We got talking a few times on Skype. We used to actually discuss Lionheart's videos as well. It was quite funny. We were like, I've seen the latest video of Rome 2 I have. He's doing really well, isn't he? He's on like part 8 of his Sparta series. Because I still watch him even late 2013 after I'd started my channel. I sort of watched his channel to keep up with the news of Rome 2. And that's where Rome 2 is probably the good part of the Total War thing we'll start off with now, because that's what fueled my early growth on my channel, because I was making lots of Rome 2 content, I did a Carthage campaign and lots of stuff like that. But going down a sec, I've just jumped the gun a big time. So Elite Wolf was one of the first guys I did stuff with. He was a cool dude. We did, I think it was like 2 or 3 videos on Shogun 2 together, which are up on the channel. If you go far enough back, you'll find them. I think is it Satsuma and somebody. It was For the Samurai. It was For the Samurai we did stuff on. I was quite excited to do the series, and then he just disappeared and didn't speak to me anymore. I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I was like, for a good few months, a good 2 or 3 months, I thought I'd offended him because we got this sort of thing going. We'd made a couple of videos on it, and then he just disappeared, and there was no sign of him anymore. I was like, shit, he could be dead, because you don't know, he could be dead. And Elite Gadgets, who's also a member of the Barbarian Breakfast Community Total War channel. He had his own channel at the time called Elite Gadgets, and he was also doing a co-op with him, and he also had the same problem. And it wasn't until I looked on his channel a few months later, remembering that he was doing a co-op with him, that somebody had asked him in the comment section. I think he answered saying his channel's been taken down. I was like, oh shit, his channel's been taken down, that's a shame. So then, like, because I couldn't contact him, because the only means of contact I had was on, like, Steam and Twitter, and he wasn't active on any of them for a few months. Then a few months later he came back and said, oh yeah, my channel's been taken down, I had copyright issues or something, I'm going to start again in the new year. But he never did. But he's like one of the first people I sort of got involved with. It was a shame, because we made like 2 videos, got on quite well, I thought, could have blossomed into something, and unfortunately it never did. And I was quite scared as well at the time. I wasn't really a fan of collaborating. That's going to sound weird. I'm going to have a quick drink before we go into this. Podcast water. The best kind. We should like name the water something in this series. Dragon Spunk or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's just a weird thought to have in your heads. So I wasn't really a fan of collaborating. I was nervous. I'm being totally honest with you. Seems strange now, but I was nervous at the time. Don't forget, I was a small channel back then. I had less than 500 subs. I think I had less than 300 subs. Probably did that. Yeah, I had less than 300 subs back then. My channel growth was quite slow. I mean, you know, you have good days and bad days as a YouTuber, as I found out. But I'd get like 1 sub every like 3 or 4 days back then. Whereas now, like my growth's a lot better. I'll get between sort of 5 and 10 a day sort of thing. You know, depends. Some days are a bit less. May only get 2 or 3. Some days are more. I might get 15. I might get 16. But back then, it was a lot less. You know, it was slow growth, and you would tweet. You know, I used to like tweet out about my videos quite a lot. I used to share them on Google Plus quite a lot. I even used the official Total War forums quite a lot to try and get people to watch my stuff, and they never, you know, they wouldn't say they never did. People did join, people did watch, but it was hard work, and a lot of effort went into those early videos. And you know, like Caesar in Goal was released as the first DLC. I can remember as soon as I heard about it, I was like, right, I'm making a fucking video. This was like you know, 1 o'clock in the morning. I literally got my dressing gown on, didn't even turn the light on. I'm in the dark, just got the light on my screen, and I'll find that video and I'll have to like send it to you guys if any of you want to see it. And I'm there ranting about Caesar in Goal being the first DLC of Rome 2, and I just got the light glaring on my face. I'm like, are they fucking serious? Are they fucking serious? CA, like 1 o'clock in the morning. I thought to myself, make a video on it, just get your frustration out there on camera, let people know about it, and then like just upload it straight away, because it's new, it's current news, so people will watch it. And they did. You know, I think I had about 500 to 600 views on that video. I think it's got over 1,000 or maybe 2,000 now. But at the time, you know, when you pick up views originally for a video, it had about 500 or 600, which was, you know, double my subscriber size at the time. It was like my first mini viral video, I guess. And I was like, the game is not even fucking finished. We've had 6 patches so far, and I was really ranting. I was really upset with Rome 2. I was really upset with Rome 2. It's the state of the game, its release and everything. So much of it just turned me off the game, and it kind of turned me off Total War for a while, as well as making, you know, as far as making videos on it goes. If you love something so much, and something that you love hurts you, then it's going to have that effect. And that's the thing. I don't hate on Total War because I hate it. I hate on it because I love it, which doesn't make sense at all. But you might do it on another level, because it was a game that I'd been hyped up so much. It was a game that I was looking forward to, and at the time, you know, all of my efforts on YouTube were going towards Total War. You know, it was going towards making Total War content for you guys. It was going towards me having fun with it, and hopefully growing and doing well, and being a success story, hopefully. And it didn't quite turn out that way for me, unfortunately. At the time, anyway. You know, I was annoyed. I was watching a lot of other YouTubers as well, like Volhound and Cosmic Contrarian, who are two Scottish YouTubers that no longer do Total War videos, unfortunately. But they're both friends in real life. They both got very good channels. They're both verified. They're both verified YouTubers. Got the verified tick. Cosmic's now got over 100,000 subscribers, and Volhound's got 60,000 subscribers, and they're famous now for their Dishonored videos and their Fallout 4 videos and stuff like that. They do those kind of games, but they were Total War channels like myself. They did just Total War. They always did Legendary difficulty, Max difficulty. They'd handicap themselves sometimes, and it's just the skill level was insane, and the communication was great between the two of them. And it's like you got Total War YouTubers that most of the time are not very good players. Myself, they pick up the game, they dick about, they don't go on the hardest difficulty, they just have a laugh with it, doing it, and try to make it a fun sort of video to watch. And then you had these guys who were like professional fucking players. It's like you guys could just win any tournament. You just, because I wasn't really into multiplayer at all, but they were like so fucking good. And one of the first sort of tournaments I watched with Total War was the Scan Invitational tournament, which was a YouTuber tournament that Creative Assembly set up in collaboration with Scan a couple of months after Rome 2 was released, and Cosmic was in it and got knocked out first round, but Volhound got all the way to the final and lost the Prussian Prince. And he actually made a video about it. Him and Cosmic did commentary, like battle reviews, because he beat Point Man, who was a American YouTuber. I don't think he does Total War. I don't think he does YouTube anymore, to be honest with you. But he got the semis, and Volhound beat him in the semi-final, and the way he beat him, he totally took the piss out of the game engine in the semi-final of a tournament, and it was prize money at stake. Like, it was £1,000 kitty. Whoever won the tournament got £500. Whoever finished second got 300. Whoever won the playoff, third place playoff, won, £200. So it's prize money at stake, and it was ridiculous what happened. Like, he literally he picked a spam stack sort of build from Parthia, used whistling arrows and an elephant because of the fear effect, and it just routed the opponent's army straight away, Pipe Man's army. But that was sort of, I'm literally going in chronological order of my channel right now. I've just noticed that as well, but fuck it, we'll go with it. Might be interesting to you guys, who knows. So that was that. I watched them, and that was cool. I was watching Lionheart, and obviously I come across Heph and a few of the other guys that I've obviously know about on YouTube. And my channel it did that video, the Hannibal the Gates, not Hannibal the Gates, that Caesar in goal video did really well. It's like a mini kind of bump for me. I got a few views out of it, got a few more subs out of it. Turn of the year, I decided to carry on with the Total War. I sort of had a bit of a break over Christmas. I came back, did some more Total War stuff. I then started doing more vlogs, this sort of thing, which I preferred doing, because even though I don't get the same sort of views, I didn't give a shit. I'm happy just to make it because it makes me feel good. And that's the thing as well. People think, you do YouTube because you want money, you want views, you want subscribers. And, there are things that you want because all of those things show some level of success. But you want to do it for yourself. You want to do it that you enjoy it. And that's, unfortunately, the thing which I think a lot of people forget. There's actually channels in the Total War community, I think, forget that as well. Bunch of cunts, all of them. We might get into that. We'll have to wait and see how the conversation goes. But that was that. I came back after Christmas. Hannibal at the Gates was then announced. I didn't really rant about that one, even though it was only a few months after the Caesar and goal one. But I think that's because I wanted to play the Punic Wars, so I picked it. And this is where strategy comes into YouTube, and it actually helps you out. By this point, I had that sort of mini series, that video that gave me a mini bump in subs, Caesar and goal video, and I was doing a Switzerland campaign on Napoleon, which got me quite a few French and Swiss viewers. For some reason, I think I had like 50 of them just from those countries. I was like, shit, because people were actually watching that series, which was really interesting. And Caesar in goal, I thought, right, I need to pick some one of the factions. There's 5 factions. It's Lusitani, Aravaki, Rome, Carthage, Syracuse, all announced as playable factions in this DLC. And I was literally going through all the channels I knew about on Total War, and they were all announcing the factions they're playing as. So Lionheart says he's doing a co-op with Warrior of Sparta. Warrior of Sparta was a new YouTuber starting up at this point. He started YouTube when Hard at the Gates was announced, basically. Because I can remember the video he announced where they were at Res. The two of them were together, and Warrior of Sparta, I actually came across his channel before he met Lionheart. He sort of came up with a suggestion, like, oh, he looks pretty cool, his thumbnails look pretty cool. I think I subbed to him, but he had about 400 subscribers, which was more or less where I had at the time. I was sort of 400, going on 500 by this point. But the point is that I was looking at the other YouTubers, looking at what they had done, and I could see they were doing Roman Carthage. I was going through like Alex Rambler. Oh, he's doing Syracuse. Okay, Lusitania. Okay, I think Legends doing that. Okay, who's this person doing? Okay, they're doing that. Literally, I went through the forums, and the forum was quite popular. People were like, "Oh, Aravaki," or "I like to see Aravaki campaign." Nobody was doing it. I sort of scouted it. I was quite confident. I was like, right, I'm going to do an Aravaki campaign. So I picked Aravaki, and boom, I got my bump in subs, and this sort of pushed me quite nicely at the time. It gave me a few hundred subs. This was like the first kind of mini viral series that I had. Even though I'd gained subs from other stuff before, when you could get little bumps and stuff, and people were actually invested in the channel at this point. It gave the channel some life. It was this kind of series that gave it that life, and it was on display, sort of thing. Like the first few episodes, I think the first 5 or 6 or 7 videos all attained 1,000 views or more. I mean, that's over a period of time, obviously, but they certainly had a boost to, again, like 500, 600 views at the time when they were released, and I was like, shit, this is doing quite well. And people were commenting. The comment section was full. I think episode 1 had like 30 or 40 comments on it. I was like, fuck me, what's going on? Because I was the only person playing it. I was playing it on very hard difficulty as well, so I wasn't even like pushing about on normal difficulty like a lot of people do. I was actually up there on very hard, put on a show, doing my thing, doing quite well. I was uploading them daily. I was just like, fuck it, upload. I did 36 videos, so to be fair, I did do quite a lot of stuff in that series. But it's like, when you type in like Rome 2 Aravaki or Aravaki campaign, my stuff comes up at the top of the thing, and that's how I did so well, because nobody was doing it. It was fresh DLC, people were searching for it, and I was like, fuck it. That's the thing with DLCs. When they release DLCs now, and there's new factions or new games come out, I always try to research what other YouTubers are doing, because I always try to pick the one which is least popular amongst them, because I know that people are going to still search for it, and if the competition's less for them, then my chances of getting more views and stuff are going to be more. So that's what I did. That did really well for me. I did that for 36 episodes, like I said. It went fucking amazing, so I was really happy with that. Then the summer sort of came about, and I sort of went to a bit of a lull, didn't do as much again. Still did stuff, but nothing memorable. I did do, like, I pissed about with like Walking Dead. I'd done some other stuff as well. And it was interesting. So you fast forward that a bit more. Attila comes out, Total War Attila. That was February 2015. That was shit fucking hot. I did West Roman Empire, which was popular as a choice. Did it on Legendary, which hardly anybody did. Surreal Beliefs, I think, did do Legendary difficulty on the West Roman Empire, but he did it months after release. And Heir of Carthage, Legend of Total War did, but again, months after release. He actually started it with I think it was the Eastern Roman Empire first. Oh no, sorry, it was the Huns. He did the whole Huns, this is Total War Legendary thing first, before doing it with the Western Roman Empire. So because of that, I was the only guy, or one of the few people, doing Legendary Western Roman Empire at the start. So I just did that, so fuck it. So whereas the Aravaki campaign a year previously was getting like 1,000 or 2,000 for the first few videos, this series got like 10k for like the first 2 videos. It was like shit in hell. It's like I think now currently it's like 15,000, 12,000, 10,000 for like the first 3 videos or something thereabouts, and then the following episodes up until like episode 10 are all like 1,000 views each. And that's like really fucking good for a series for me. And that got me shitload of subs. I think I had my best day of subscribers ever. I think it was like 63 or something in a day, which I've never hit before. I was like, fuck me, this is going well. I've picked a good series here. The problem was I was shit at the game. I handicapped myself too much by this point, because of course I'm not a small Total War YouTuber. Let's just get that out there. And that's not me being big-headed or anything, but I'm known amongst a lot of the YouTubers in the Total War community. They're aware of me. They've spoken to me before and stuff. I've been doing it a while now, like you guys will know from this video. So I'm not a small YouTuber in Total War. I'm not somebody that's created a channel, and I've been stuck on 100 subs for 2 years, which some channels have. I'm not someone that's inactive. I'm not somebody that's, I've been around a while. I've learned things. I've done things, but I'm also not one of the big ones either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a massive Total War YouTuber. There's many people in the Total War community that probably don't know who I am. So it works both ways. But I'd say I'm like a mid-tier kind of Total War guy when it comes to that sort of community, the Total War community that we have on YouTube. Um, and yeah, it's mad to see how well that sort of did that series. And because I don't get early access, because I'm not on that higher echelon. I can't even say that right, echelon. Because I'm not in the higher echelon of status as far as YouTubers go in Total War. Because I've never gone to any Creative Assembly events they've held, mainly because they've never held anything nearby where I live. The only time they ever have done something where I live is when Rome 2 has been advertised. They advertised the War Dogs in a Rally Point episode before Rome 2 came out, and they went to Swansea. And I can remember that because they had Will dress up in all the get up and stuff, and he had like war dogs, hounds just like attacking him on like a race course thing. It's quite funny actually. It's like pissing down with rain in Swansea. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've gone to Swansea today. It's like, oh yeah, it's not far from me. Well, still got to travel half the country of half of South Wales to get there, like, but at least it was like relatively near. I could have gone there. If it had been something in Swansea, I could have gone there. But it's like London, fucking Manchester, wherever, LA, and they've done stuff in America. It's impossible. And usually it's like short notice as well, and it's like fuck. So I've never been able to go to anything like that. And obviously, if I had gone to stuff like that and got myself known amongst the people, that would have helped me out a lot amongst that community. But it's just it's what happens. To be fair, I probably don't produce the best of content anyway. Which it's down to me at the end of the day. But at the same time, it is a bit gutting as well because I've been doing it for so long, and I've seen channels come along in Total War that have been doing it 5 minutes and already getting more stuff from Creative Assembly than I am, and that's the frustrating thing for me. But that's just like I said, it's that's a lot of that's down to me at the end of the day. But it's mad. It's mad. So like that's what Total War's been like for me. And then obviously you move on from Attila. I didn't get the early access. That's the point I was making. I didn't get early access, so I wasn't able to play the game beforehand, which really sort of handicapped me when I started doing that legendary save. But it was quite funny me squirming in that series as well. I did have quite a lot of fun doing it, but at the same time, Attila was bugged when it came out as well. And I think on my last episode of that series, which was like part 21, I zoomed in and made a point. I was like, guys, oof, papa me. I was like, guys, I can't fucking play this anymore. Look at this shit by you. I just selected the defense order, the guard mode sort of thing. And my units are not joining in the fight. They're bugging out in a siege battle. I'm losing this battle because those half the fucking unit won't attack them right now. And I made the point. I was like, I said I'm quitting it. So I gave up on that. And then that left me with more bad taste in my mouth because I was like, that's 2 games now. That's 2 games where I felt disappointed and stuff. I went in another lull then throughout the summer. I was like, right, give up on that. Let's just do some other stuff. And from this time I started doing the streaming thing. I'd already been streaming on Twitch a little bit. I had a bit of an upgrade with my internet. Not much of an upgrade. My internet's still fucking crap, but it was enough where I could stream. And I was doing it on Twitch, not the best quality, but I had a couple of people that used to watch me on Twitch quite a lot. Used to do lots of stuff like Life is Strange and Walking Dead, Telltale and stuff like that. So it was nice. It was nice. I used to enjoy the early streams on Twitch. Played about with YouTube in the summer because there's rumours that YouTube gaming was going to become a thing, which it did in the August September time. I sort of started doing it in October time. Myself, my friend Lord Rexasaur, my friend Jackasaurus all started streaming on YouTube. We all modded for each other, and it sort of took off from there. And YouTube gaming became a big part of my channel, and it kind of filled that void for me because I lost something with Total War but gained something with YouTube gaming. So that's sort of what it did. It became like a surrogate for me. It also helped because I had a lot of personal issues in my life at the time as well. I was down over things that happened, and it filled that gap as well for me. So I needed YouTube as much as I wanted to do YouTube. But then obviously Age of Charlemagne came out at Christmas time last year. DLC, I fucking love the DLC. Did a Lombards campaign on that. Did a good 16, 17 videos on it. The problem I get is I never fucking finish my series. I picked the Lombard. I did this exactly the same thing for the Lombards. I waited to see who was doing what, and I picked them. Problem I had was they had 8 Total War YouTubers at this point, all selected to do it. So I was like, shit, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to be like the standout guy this time. So I picked the one which I felt like I had the best chance, which was Jackie Fish, because Jackie Fish at the time had, I think he had about like 8 or 9,000 subs. By this point, I was pushing to 2,000, so I was like, right, we'll just go for that one. I got a good chance, and I did. And they did fairly well, the Lombard stuff, especially early on. Not as good as the Attila stuff, and not as good as the the other stuff I've done previously, the Aravaki stuff, but it still got, did quite well view wise early on. Got me some new subs, and I streamed it as well, which is quite fun as well. Did some streams on it because they had the mods. You could get the mods where you play as some of the British tribes. So obviously I could play as some of the local Welsh tribes, which was nice for me. And it's kind of like Medieval 3 in a sense, because it's like modern day Total War, but in a medieval period, which is cool. So that was nice as well. So it was all interesting stuff. And then at turn of the year, then 2016, I sort of stayed away from Total War completely up until sort of the summer when Warhammer came out. I loved Warhammer when it came out. Well, I liked Warhammer when it came out. I played lots of it, did quite a lot of stuff with it. Then I sort of gave up on playing it for a few months because I felt like I didn't want to play it. It's just like there's other stuff coming out. It's not really the best game to stream anyway. I'm enjoying the streams more than the game, and this game's new, so I didn't bother playing it. Didn't really bother with the DLCs when they came out, like the Beastman, the Grim and the Grave. I did buy them later on at a reduced price. And then obviously I got back into it recently. We've now got this new DLC announced for the Wood Elves. I'm actually loving playing Warhammer again, so looking forward to it. It's been good. I got my own tournament that I've set up as well, so I'm being quite busy and quite active with it, so it is quite nice. But that's been my kind of time on YouTube, I guess. For was the whole topic took like 40 minutes there, or half hour at least, which is quite nuts. It's gonna be a long video, guys. But that was interesting. I enjoyed that. Nice to talk. Nice to talk sometimes. So that's kind of like my sort of thing on YouTube. I mean, Total War YouTubers, as far as my opinions go on them, there's so much I like, some of them which I hate. A lot of them jumped on the bandwagon. I think to a certain extent. It's just what YouTube is like, though. It's not really a Total War YouTuber thing per se. It's more of a success of someone who's done well. Somebody else pops along. They've been on YouTube for 5 minutes, so no fucking idea what they're doing, and they instantly get like 5,000-6,000 subs because of whatever, But that's what YouTube's like, I'm afraid. But if any big YouTubers from Total War want to do stuff for me, I'm always available. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let my subscribers shoot up. I'm such a cunt. But no, seriously, that's been my time on YouTube. As far as YouTubers who have great communities but ignore comments, this is from HouseOfTheJuilii. I'm going to sit down over here and actually read these properly. It's a good comment. It's a good question to actually ask. I think this comes from more of a stream thing, because I know HouseOfTheJuilii was talking to me about this before. I kind of agree with him on this as well. There's been lots of streams that I've come across where streaming is difficult. I mean, you can have, like, I do it myself quite a lot now. It's difficult to keep up with the chat. If my chat's they're going down the screen right now and I'm playing a game and it's quite intense, the chat's going quite quickly, I'm going to miss comments. It happens, unfortunately. I, at the very least, try to welcome everyone into the stream, and I try to hit every comment. I like to think that I hit about 90% of them now. And, there might be 10% that go through the thing. But at the end of the day, I got mods, like awesome mods are there most of the time as well, which can welcome people on my behalf, and I can always catch up with them then if I need to. And quite often, if like people join my stream because of someone raiding me, like Keen Decker or Jackasaurus, for example, I will, by all means, pause the game and welcome every single one of them into the stream first, and then carry on with the game. I feel like that's what we should do at the very least in the stream. So I was quite, I was quite disappointed the other day when I dropped into somebody's stream who's in a Twitter group that I'm in. Don't know why I'm fucking in this group, to be honest with you. It's a YouTube gaming streaming group. And they were in the chatting and stuff, and I said hey and stuff, and I got ignored again, because that's what happens in the streaming community on occasion. You go on Twitter and you get fucking ignored by half of them, so fuck you. So why did I do with my index finger then? Fuck you. So so that was nice. But But there's this guy in there. He set up his channel. He didn't set up a channel. He set it up for streaming. He already had a channel, but he had like 1,000 subs. So I was like, oh, well, not doing too bad for himself. People were talking about him. He's saying I'm going to stream soon. So I was like, I'm going to check this guy out. So I checked him out, and he's in. To bear in mind, he's in the same Twitter group as me. I'm not going to say his name. I can't remember his name actually, but he's playing a bang bang game, Call of Duty or Battlefield or something. I don't know. Playing one of those games, a first person shooter, and I was in his chat. And he had about, I think he had 6 people watching him at the time. He had 6 people watching him. His chat was fairly slow, wasn't really moving that fast to easily keep up with it. And he was turning his head like that quite a bit to sort of see his chat. So I could see that he was keeping an eye on it. So I entered, I was like, hey man, how are things? I got ignored. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But I thought I'm gonna persist. I'm gonna keep it up. So someone said hey to me in the comment section. I was like, oh hey how are things? And I had a bit of a conversation go with them, and then he said something in the game that he was playing, and I commented back and said, oh yeah, you did really good there with that one, and responded to the streamer because he was did something cool or whatever in the game. And then someone else in the chat recognized me, and they were like, oh Dragonheart man, how are things? Nice to see you. And I was like, oh yeah, you too man, how are things? And I was there for a good 15 minutes, and not once did the streamer talk to me, acknowledge me, or message me, or anything at all. He's just there playing the game. It's like, for fuck's sake, he's probably one of those people that, like, someone would raid at me, like, oh my god, thank you so much, and be like really over the top. But at the time, it's like, well, you don't have any fucking viewers watching you, and have any sort of community built up if you're just gonna fucking ignore me. Like, I've just taken my time out of my day to check you out. I already think you're a bit of a cunt, but I've put that to one side, given you the benefit of the doubt to actually drop by and actually check you out, and you've been an absolute cunt since I've been here. So I subbed him beforehand. I then unsubbed from him and not gonna bother, and that annoys me. Like, that's the thing. I understand if you miss your chat, especially if you've got like 100 or so people watching you, you're gonna miss so much, aren't you? You're gonna miss so much. But when you've got like 6 people watching you, and you've got someone who's brand new in your channel that's actively in your comments and stuff, and you're not even going to acknowledge them at all. Just crap, in my opinion. So I was annoyed by that. So I do agree with House of the Juilii thing, with that question. YouTubers who have great communities but ignore comments. Yeah, it's annoying. I find it more annoying on streams than YouTube. Actually, it should be the other way around, because YouTube itself, you've got time to respond, hit the reply button. On streams, you're not physically replying to them, you're verbally replying to them and can't miss things. But I try to acknowledge every single comment. My problem is, because of my work commitments and stuff, I don't always get access to YouTube every single day, because it doesn't. Time I get home, I might be out somewhere after work or whatever, so I might not be in. So it might take 2 or 3 days sometimes for me, but I always respond. Even if it's just +1 in, thumb in a comment, like in a comment, because they might have said something that doesn't need a response, but doesn't need a comment response, but I can still do that, and they'll get the notification to say that I've liked the comment. So I still do that, and I'll try to respond as often as I can then so I try my best to keep up there as often as I can, basically. I think that's the important thing, just respond to everything, because at the end of the day, that's what starts and builds a community. The video and the content might draw them in, but the person, the YouTuber, can hold them there, if that makes sense. Well, that's what I think anyway. So yeah, it's a good question, Julia, and I hope that's a satisfiable answer to it. Next topic we've got is from TJ Dwarf, who's also an amazing patron as well as House of Juilii, so awesome stuff there. His question is, Trump as president, shit hit the fan scenario. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock recently, Donald Trump has become the new president of the United States. He's currently president-elect. He doesn't actually become president until January. He's about as far right as you can go on the political scene. He had a very interesting campaign where he said that he is going to build a wall between America and Mexico and force the Americans to pay for it. All 6 million or 6 billion or whatever the fuck I can't remember what the price was, but it was something like that. Something ridiculous, put it that way. He also said that he's gonna abolish same-sex marriage, or he's gonna do something with that. I can't remember all of his policies, to be honest with you, and it's quite late at the time we're recording this, but I'm sure you guys can work out his policies or know where his policies are, which is quite interesting. Now, his opponent Hillary Clinton had more votes than him, but because he won more battles in more key states, basically more states voted for him, but she had more votes. That's like a shortened down version of what actually happened. He ended up winning the majority in that case. It was quite close, to be honest. It wasn't like a landslide sort of victory. It wasn't like Obama before where he just fucking walked it. It was quite close, but he won. He became the new president. Shit hit the fan scenario. It's a difficult one to answer because I think the guy's fucking crazy, to be honest with you. Donald Trump, I honestly do. But is it going to be, it's not just the president. You got to remember, it's not just the one person that runs the show. It's the party, the people he elects in his party to serve with him, his assistants, the people who are going to work under him. They also help with the manifests and the propositions and the the acts that they enable and they vote for and stuff. So I think he's going to get rid of a lot of the hard work that's been beneficial. I think Obamacare is already gone, which was useful to the Americans. He might do some good though. I mean, I don't want to be too negative on Donald Trump. I think there may be some good that he may do. I think it's going to be far outweighed by the shit though. There's going to be a lot of stuff that he may do which is going to upset a lot of people. I think he's kind of, the way the Americans have voted for this, it's kind of a case of, are you satisfied with your current government and the way things are currently in your country? No. And he was the alternative. And I think particularly a lot of sort of middle class, working class kind of people have voted for change, but the change is almost too far that way, if that makes sense. It's not a small change, This year we've seen two massive political changes in Britain and in America, where we've got Donald Trump becoming the new, Donald Trump businessman becoming the president of a fucking country. That in itself, when you say it like that, is mind-baffling. Donald Trump, who had his own version of The Apprentice, who owns fucking Trump Tower and all the shit that he owns, businesses and stuff, And then you had Brexit in the UK, where we basically said, fuck you to Europe and left. Mind-boggling. People, in like 100 years' time, 200 years' time, people are going to look back at 2016 of the year of political change, because so much has changed this year. It's been ridiculous. Do I think it's going to be a shit hit the fan scenario, an SHTF? Kind of. I'm going to say kind of. I do think, though, if he's got, it's a big massive if he's got people around him which are sensible enough, and if he's got people around him that are willing to say no, because I don't think everybody in his party is going to agree with everything he proposes, it might be okay, but I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad regardless, but we just have to wait and see, guys. Have to wait and see. Wait until next year. Wait until 2017. Wait until January when he actually becomes the president properly and not just the elect. But it's going to be fucking crazy. But anyway, that's the political talk. So we've done the whole YouTube thing, which took up most of the video. We've done the actual YouTubers who ignore their chats by HouseOfTheJuilii. We've done the TJ Dwarf question / topic. Trump as president, shit hit the fan scenario. Now we've got a final one here, which is proposed by Jackasaurus, and that is Jurgen Klopp. Now we actually said Jurgen Klopp with Arsenal, because Jack's a big Arsenal fan, but I think Jurgen Klopp's absolutely amazing. He is such a charismatic manager. Basically, for those who don't know who Jurgen Klopp is, he's a German manager of Liverpool Football Club, the club that I support. Me and my father support them, and he's great with the media. He's great with the fans. He's become like one of our own sort of thing, even though he's German. It's like we've adopted you. You're Scouse, really. You're not German. You're Scouse. He's just a breath of fresh air in the Premier League. In the Premier League, we've got your managers, which are, your standard sort of pricks. Your standard yes men to the chairman. Your standard sort of blah 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 blah. Same with the players, where they're like, oh yeah, I did training today. It went well, and we're top of the league, and top man. Oh, he was top man, and yeah, we're gonna celebrate the boys now, and yeah, we'll be back in training on Monday now, and it's the same sort of interview each and every time. He's just the complete opposite. He says what he feels. It's like Steven Gerrard, club legend of Liverpool Football Club, the man who starred in the Gerrard final of 2006, the FA Cup final, who lifted the Champions League trophy in 2005, retired from professional football today. Uh, and like I say, he's a club legend, and Klopp was asked lots of questions in the media about him, and he was like, I'm not going to talk about Steven Gerrard. He's like the manager of Liverpool. He's like, I'm not going to talk about Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard's his own man. Talk to him. He's had a fantastic career. I've observed it for many years. So when you pose the question to him and write your own stories, I was like, no other manager could get away with the way he says stuff like that, but he does. It's like, and he's right. It's like what are you talking about Steven Gerrard in my conference for? It's not affected my team for Saturday against Sunderland. So, ask Steven Gerrard. He's retired. He's the story. Go and talk to him. It's like it's been speculated that he might come back as a coach and be a coach for the youngsters, or coach, part of the coaching staff here at Liverpool. We may have something to announce in the future. We might not. We have to wait and see. It's just the way he answers his questions. He just got away with the media that most managers would love to have. He don't really give a shit what he says. It's like he's on TV before. And he was like, we thrashed the team 4-0, and they were like, how can you describe that performance? He was like, boom boom. It was boom boom. Next week I want more boom boom. Can you imagine Sam Allardyce saying that? No, if you fucking, it's just go home. It's just crap. But he's been great. Do I think Liverpool are going to win the league? Oh, I'd love it. I would love it so much. For me, I've been a lifelong Liverpool fan. I've bought the strip nearly every season. I've watched every game with my father. We've bought so much merchandise, it's ridiculous. DVDs, we even got old VHS tapes here in the house somewhere. I would love for us to win the league, because for years, even in school, like most of my friends are Manchester United fans, Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans. Hardly anybody was a Liverpool fan, because they were always like the unfashionable, the glory days are gone. This isn't the 70s and 80s anymore. Manchester United are the top dogs now. They got all the money. They win the league every year, etc., etc. We got the best players. We got Ronaldo. We got Tevez. We've got Giggs. And who've you got? You got Jimmy Traore. That was a sort of attitude. But it'd be nice just to stick one to them for a change and actually win it. It was like in 2005 we won the Champions League, and we haven't made final wins since then. We obviously won the FA Cup in 2006. We won the League Cup against Cardiff City in 2012, and that's the last trophy we actually won in 2012. It's been 4 years since we won a trophy. Got to a few finals since then, but it'd be nice to actually win something. So I'd be happy if you had to ask me where you would like us to, what do you think a good season for Liverpool would be this season? It would be top four, qualify for the Champions League by finishing the top four, and a trophy. If you could win the FA Cup or the League Cup and finish in the top four, I would be ecstatic. That'd be a great season for us. Because we don't usually, we're not a team that are traditionally title contenders sort of end of the season. We're there, up until like Christmas time. We get a few dodgy results, then we sort of slide away, and it's usually a scramble to try and get in the top four. I mean, some years we get fourth, some years we don't, and we finish like fifth or sixth, and that's a scary thing with the Premier League. There's so many good teams in the league now that you can see teams like Leicester win the league. You can see, like last season, with Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea, three big, massive teams you'd expect to be competing for the title, all finishing out of the top three and not qualifying for the top four, not qualifying for the Champions League. So it's nuts, it's absolutely nuts. But I am hopeful that we can do well this season, and if we can win the league, it'd be like one of the best things ever. But if we can get a Champions League, I'd be happy with that. But I'm confident. He's been a great manager, Jurgen Klopp, since he's taken over. He's imposed his own style on the team. I think it's called the Gegenpress or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but he's brought his own players. Mane looks like a fantastic buy. Firmino looks really good. Lallana is playing some of his best football right now. Coutinho has been out of this world at times. Henderson's really evolved into a top captain. He looks competent, looks really comfortable with the armband on. Because when he first took over as captain, he didn't really feel like it. You know, it felt like he was living in Gerard's shadow, but this season he's really taking it on. Hey guys, sorry about that. Unfortunately, Windows Movie Maker only lets you record up to an hour, and I actually surpassed that. Most of my videos never over an hour, so I wasn't aware that was going to happen, but it cut me off unfortunately. So yeah, that was nice. But basically what I was saying was, I hope Liverpool do well. I'm not quite sure how much of that I missed out, but I just hope the Liverpool do well. I hope they have a great season. I hope things finish on a high, and hopefully we can win the league. Fingers crossed. I am going to end the video here. It's been an hour, like I said. It's twice as long as the first episode. I'm going to try and keep it to half an hour, but I felt like there's so much to go through with that YouTube thing that it was ridiculous. If you have anything you wish to add or say, any questions, any topics, let me know in the comment section below, guys. As always, I want to say a big thank you to all of my awesome patrons of the channel. You guys have been amazing for your continued support. Links to them are in the description below, and it also will be on the end card at the end of this video. All my links are in the description below, guys. If you want to check me out, everything is there. And I've been Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, goodbye.